Guys, remember that these lessons, they all do contribute to your F3. I think on question 4, it says that your idea that you are coming up with can be in form of a site, can be in form of an app. So some of the things that we can discuss on that, you can come up with an idea that is in form of an app that could work as well. So don't take this as mere learning, that you are just learning for the sake of learning. It's something that you can actually apply to your assignment. You can even apply it in your life, you know. You might have a rich brother or a or a relative who wants to initiate a website project because that person has got a business. They might consider you, and that's a way of side hustling to make extra cash, you know. So these things can always work one way or the other. You don't have to do them in your career, but you can also use, these things as part of side hustling. So we are going to look at how you initiate a website project. As a recap, we spoke about prototyping and growth hacking. You know about before the break. Can someone briefly summarize the previous lesson?
Previous lesson, we spoke about growth hacking, agile software development, prototyping. Yeah.
Okay, now we are going to look at the initiation of a website project. And you guys need to understand what is a URL, what is a domain name, how do you select a hosting provider, and so forth. So we are going to talk about the URL, domain name, bandwidth, CDNs, and web hosting. Have you guys heard these terms before?
Yes.
Okay. And I think some of these terms should be in your textbook. So, do you guys have a personal website or a blog? Anyone with a personal website or a blog?
No.
No.
Okay. And in the age of mobile applications and social media platforms, is a company website still relevant? I think we discussed this. Okay, so let's go straight to the point. Before design and creation of the web, hello?
Did you ask a question? Sorry.
Then my internet disappeared a bit. I'm just waiting for it to stabilize. I don't know if you can hear me, guys.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, my screen is still loading up. I don't know if it can show on your side or it's now showing.
It's showing
So
right now.
before, all right. So I was reading what's on the screen there. Before analysis, design, and creation of the website, all major projects still have an initial phase in which the aims and objectives of the website are reviewed to assess whether it is worthwhile investing in the website and to decide on the amount to invest. Initiation of the website project is a phase of the project. In a phase of the project should involve a structured review of the cost and benefit of developing a website or making a major revision to an existing website. So I've seen many companies have rebranded their website, while some have started from scratch. But you need to know the purpose of a website, as I said at the beginning. Your website at the end of the day needs to bring more money, more business, more visibility, more findability, to consumers, to the business. So a successful outcome to initiation will be a decision to proceed with the site development phase with an agreed budget and a target completion date. Choosing a domain name is a relatively simple decision since there's some basic terminology that marketers need to be aware of. So in many cases, brands typically have many digital services located in different address domains, particularly for companies with different domains for different countries. For example, you have Coca-Cola saying coke.com/ZA. So ZA will be for a country. A domain name is an address of a web server and is usually selected to be the same as the name of the company, and the extension will indicate its type. So on that screen, you can see the domain name for Boston Media House. Can you see that one, guys?
Yes.
Then the extension of that would determine the nature of business. So as you can see, it says Boston Media House.ac.za. What does AC stand for?
Academic.
Yes. So it means it's an academic institution. So even if you have never been to Boston, by the moment you see AC, you just know that this is an educational institution. uj.ac.za, wits.ac.za. So that extension just says what the organization under which sector it follows under. Guys, the NGOs, how do you identify them on a domain?
.org. No.
Yes. .org. Okay. Then most companies, of course, is .co. All right. Now let's talk about URLs. The technical name for web address is Uniform Resource Locator, called a URL. Therefore, a URL is a web address used to locate a web page or on a web server. The URL makes it possible for a connected device, such as a desktop or a smartphone, to locate and open a web page on a different computer on the internet. An example of a URL is HTTPS, that one for Boston. So the URL for the Boston Media House. It is important to note that URLs are often hyperlinked and they must be clickable. If they are not clickable, then something is missing out there. And there's a pointer that I need to give you guys. Can you see that some links have got HTTP? It ends there, whereas some has got HTTPS. Do you know that?
Yes.
Those which HTTP without an S are not secure. And it's not always safe to open them, especially using your phone, because they can inject your phone with your virus. They are not secure websites. And sometimes if your phone is clever, it can actually say that site not secure. Proceed at your own risk. Have you come across that?
Yes.
Okay. A URL strategy is a defined approach to forming URLs, including the use of capitalization, hyphenation, and subdomains for different brands and different locations. This has implications for promoting a website offline through promotional or vanity, URL search engine optimization, and findability. Remember, you cannot initiate an effective customer experience if people cannot be able to find you. If people cannot be able to locate you, how are they going to interact with your website? So you need to have a URL strategy. Have a name that is memorable. Have a name that is easy to pronounce. Have a name that is very easy to give out to someone, especially if you are promoting a website offline. It's easy if I were to tell you guys that visit coke.coza. That's memorizable. But the moment I tell you guys that go and visit kumbulusuku lwesabatha ulwenzelubengcwele.com, would you remember?
No.
You see? So you need to consider all those aspects when you are coming up with a URL strategy. Some brands do it well. You make it short and sweet. BMW.coza. Imagine if they'd say Bavarian Motors, what? Yo. But remember, nowadays we have got a URL shortener. What is it called? I just want to see if you guys are well aware of these things.
A URL shortener?
Yes.
I've never heard of that.
It's called Bitly.
Okay.
Obunolo, have you ever heard it?
No, I've not heard it, but I'm looking at it now. I just searched it.
Okay, if you just go to Google and say URL shortener, I think you come across something like that. Have you located it? Maybe I didn't pronounce it well.
Bitly.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen people use this.
Or just if you can't find Bitly, just say URL shortener. You should be. Oh, I see it's there. So there are so many links that are very long, You can use Bitly. It has used several times. People use it on a daily basis to shorten a link that is too long.
Can we
All
use
right.
Can we use it in our referencing or no?
In academic referencing, unfortunately, you need to see whether your source is relevant or not. Bitly is just shortened. We wouldn't know what's there, what's hidden behind Bitly. So you can't use Bitly to shorten a link, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right. You see, guys, I feed you with so much information, You should be seeing where your money is going to, where your fees is going to.
Indeed.
Now we've got hosts, selecting host provider. So just like your SIM cards, your mobile numbers, they are hosted by network providers. You'd have Cell C, you'd have Vodacom, you'd have Telcom, and so on. Websites are also hosted by their own providers. So web hosting is a service that allows brands and individuals to post a website or web page onto the server, onto the internet. Websites are hosted or stored on a special computers called servers. When internet users want to view a website, all they need to do is type a web address or domain into their browser. Their device will then connect to that server and web pages will be delivered to them through a browser. I think you have been somewhere, especially Home Affairs or government system, where they say our servers are down. Have you ever heard that?
Every single time.
So whenever someone says that our servers are down, it's something to do with the host provider that they do have. Okay? It has got nothing to do with your internet or the computer that they are using. So a web hosting service provider is a business that provides the technologies and services needed for the website or web page to be viewed on the internet. Most hosting companies require that brands own their domain in order to host with them. If a brand does not have a domain, the hosting company will then help them to get one. So selecting the right partner to host a website is an important decision, since the quality of service provided will directly impact on the quality of service delivered to brand's customer. So guys, the host that you select will have an impact on customer experience. Remember, the entire lessons that we've covered so far are all based on digital customer experience. So I don't know what kind of host providers do government departments select, because they always say it's down. The availability of a website is an indication of how easy it is for a user to connect to it. It is therefore important for site owners to recognize that page download performance is essential to the success of a site, even when many users have internet connections and the sites are hosted to the internet with high bandwidth. This is an essential aspect of customer experience. Just imagine, guys, when you are on a page and it's very slow to load, some pictures are not showing yet, while if you go to other pages, it loads faster, meaning that you do have enough data and there's better network signal, but it is on their side that is making the page load slowly. Have you ever had that experience?
Yes.
So that's how the selection of a host provider influence digital customer experience. So that's it, guys, about initiating a website project. Are there any questions?
No.
No.
Okay. Now we move on to website performance optimization. Remember, we need to constantly and frequently optimize the performance of our websites as brands in order to deliver or cultivate effective customer experience. So that's what we are going to talk about in the next lesson.